Now, the International Atomic Energy Agency has turned down a call by Israeli Prime Minister to inspect what he claims to be a secret nuclear site in Iran. IAEA Director General Yukio Amano said in a statement that the agency inspects sites and locations only when needed. He noted that the agency's independence is of paramount importance and it does not take intelligence presented to it at face value. Amano's comments came days after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu accused Iran of having a secret atomic warehouse near the capital, Tehran, and called on the IAEA to inspect it. Tehran has denied the allegations as baseless. IAEA carries out verification of Iran's atomic commitments under the country's nuclear deal with world powers. And joining us now out of San Francisco, California, is Scott Bennett, former U.S. Army Psychological Warfare Officer. Hello, Scott. It's a pleasure to have you back on the program. Now, Scott, we've seen Netanyahu with his charts and graphs time and again with his CD collection behind him. Why does he not turn all this stuff over to the UN, the Atomic Agency, or even the Security Council? Why does he show up on stage at various places in the General Assembly where there is no probe? He doesn't turn it over to the relevant bodies that can actually inspect this stuff, and when he does, they laugh him down. Why?
Well, of course, all of the CDs and binders that Netanyahu produces are produced by Mossad, so they still have the Mossad Israeli stamp on them. They're not produced by any independent or certainly no spy infiltration. This is 100% produced by Netanyahu and the Likud Mossad Zionist Party, and everyone knows that, except sadly many in America. There's a strong Christian Zionist delusion that Netanyahu has capitalized on and has exploited since 2001. So Netanyahu is always performing and always lying and always propagandizing for the simpleton American audience, if you will. Yes, there are some of us that have woken up and are recognizing Netanyahu as the liar he is, but he still plays to that extreme. Now, what this decision has indicated, of course, is that the International Atomic Energy Agency does not work for Israel. They've made that very plain in their statement that they're not going to inspect any sites from Iran unless it's decided by the United Nations Security Council and the rest of the world. But it opens up a very interesting possibility, and we all know Iran has nothing to hide. Iran is compliant with the JCPOA. It is not pursuing nuclear weapons. It does not have a world hegemony domination policy. But here's an opportunity for the Iranian leadership, the Iranian media, the Iranian religious leadership to say, let's have the United Nations inspect Israel at the same time they wish to inspect Iran. If it's good for the United Nations to inspect Iran, certainly we'll give them the opportunity. But they have to inspect Israel at the same time. Let's perhaps bring Russia and the United States in on this to explore every nook and cranny and crevice and secret briefcase that Israel has, because they have nuclear weapons. Iran doesn't. All of us in the military knew that. Israel has nuclear weapons that it used in 9/11 and the destruction of the Twin Towers. Israel was responsible for some of the devastation, working with Mossad and CIA, but Israel used nuclear devices in the destruction of the World Towers, and all of the scientists have proven that, and it squarely falls onto the Israeli lap. And when the American people wake up to the fact that Israel participated in the destruction of the Twin Towers to engineer this false flag attack and justify an international juggernaut fueled by jingoism and a anti-Muslim rhetoric, I think the American people will recognize Netanyahu as the liar he is.
I want to thank you for your perspective one more time on the program out of San Francisco, California. Mr. Scott Bennett, everyone, former U.S. Army Psychological Warfare Officer.